Hey everyone, welcome back for another memory keeping video. So this is for April 13th through the 19th, and this was my cat Clover's third birthday. So I used leftovers from this Plannerface kit called Pet Party cat version. There's also a dog version. I believe this is still in the Plannerface shop if you're interested. And I used this last year for my other cat Evie's birthday in the fall, and so I just pulled in the leftovers for Clover's birthday because I feel like the last few years I've gone all out for Clover's birthday and not necessarily Evie's birthday, so kind of swapped it this time around. So here's the kit. There was no bottom washi left over though, so I pulled in some from my leftovers stash. And then I also pulled in underlays from Magical Sticker Co. This is the Clover pattern underlay in gold stars, and I absolutely love how these turned out. So very happy with that. So yeah, it was Clover's third birthday this week. I also pulled in some gold foil from the Prairie Planner. I don't think any of these cat themed overlays are in shop, which does make me sad because I love these kind of like free floating overlays over like the square box overlays personally, because you can just place them wherever and they don't take up like the whole full box, because I use a lot fewer overlays lately because a lot of them like are just so what's the word, maximalist now, that they like take over the full box, which if that's your style, great, but like most of the time I want the full boxes to show, so I want my overlays to be pretty minimal. So I prioritize underlays lately if I'm going to use foil over overlays. I did have a few days where I didn't have a full box or I had a duplicate full box, but that does not bother me at all. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with how this one turned out. Besides Clover's birthday, this week we'll get into the day by day of like a few weird things that happened that impacted us this week. Had nothing to do with us, but it was just like crime related stuff that like impacted traffic and some weird stuff going on. What else? Oh, I had a final meeting of a professional development program that I was doing this semester at one of the colleges where I teach, and we had a potluck and finished up our final project for the semester. And then my husband had to go to LA this weekend because his nephews were playing. They have started a band in the last couple of years and they had a show that he wanted to go to. I wasn't able to go. I just couldn't carve out the time between what time in the semester that we're in, and also just finding people to take care of the cats, stuff like that. This was also, I can't remember if this was weekend 1 or weekend 2 of Coachella. I honestly never remember, but I ended up watching a lot of the Coachella live streams on YouTube because Casey Musgraves was announced as a surprise guest this week. Like, she wasn't on the lineup, but she was kind of like the last minute guest, and I was very excited about that. I've never got to Coachella. I don't really pay attention to Coachella, which is funny because I used to live like an hour away from there, maybe 2 hours now that I think about it. And I've driven through that area a handful of times, but I don't know. I'm not really a festival person. Like, I like, first of all, having a seat. And secondly, I get exhausted way too easily to like do a whole weekend of live music. But then also with Coachella specifically, like, I'm a camper. If you've been around, you know that I go camping on a regular basis. However, camping at the Coachella, the polo grounds where it's super dusty and like literally the dust when it kicks up with the high winds like has spores in it sometimes of stuff you can inhale, like that I'm not about. And also, I forget who I was talking about this with. I don't like going camping with people who don't know how to camp. And I feel like that's a lot of Coachella. Because like I have seen a lot of commentary, especially this year, and I think it's just the times we live in right now, about how expensive it is to stay at Coachella. And like, I think if you actually get a regular campsite, it's pretty comparable to camping in California. Like the prices, it's just like what you get out of that experience is not somehow not as good as you would have if you went camping at a state park in California. Although at our state parks, you would have like vault toilets and things like that. So anyway, I can camp. I just don't know that I would want to camp in that situation specifically. But like people who love it, love it. So like I'm not here to yuck anyone's yum on that note. I feel like also what I've seen a lot of this year online, and this is just, I think honestly, chronically online people, is like feeling the need to like point out to people how much of a waste of money Coachella is. And I'm like, there's a lot of things that are a waste of money, y'all. Like, I don't know that this is unique. Like, there's a lot of music festivals. You can decide for yourselves which ones are worth it or not. I don't know. I noticed that a lot of people, like, I'm going to be real, it felt like they were just mad that they couldn't go or they couldn't afford it. And they were just like, this is so stupid to spend money on this. And I'm just like, as opposed to what? Like, there's a lot of things that you can waste your money on. Let's be honest. I technically waste money on certain things that aren't of value to other people, but they're of value to me and they help me stay sane. So anyway, I don't know. I'm not going to be a Coachella hater. I will never go, I don't think, because usually the lineup never has anybody that I really want to see. Casey Musgraves was an exception, but like by the time she was announced, tickets were definitely sold out, and it was like the week of. She was literally a surprise guest. So yeah, most of the time with Coachella's lineup, I'm like, I don't care to see any of these people, and I definitely don't care to see them in the desert, where it can either be 1,000,000 degrees in April or freezing cold, or there's a windstorm. So anyway, I will probably never go, but I'm not going to hate on people who do go. That's all I'm going to say about that. So yeah, if you've never watched the Coachella live streams though, and like there's someone you want to see, the live streams are really good. So this was my first time ever engaging with that. So I was excited about that. Oh, and then we had a Junk Bug Club meetup in Sacramento this weekend as well. So that was nice to see people. So as far as my sidebar this week, I have a habit tracker for flossing, I have a weekly checklist for my dinners, and then I just filled in the rest of the space with deco and other functional bits just to fill in the space because I didn't have anything that I really wanted to write in in the sidebar. Getting into the day by day, my husband was still sick this week. He caught a cold the week before, so he worked from home, I think, on Monday and Tuesday. I did a mini workout, so those sneakers and that coffee mug are both from the kit, and then the other stickers are from Sweet Ava's paper. I believe I had therapy this morning, and then in the evening, we noticed there were cops in the neighborhood, and we're like, that's weird, what's going on with that? Apparently, it was either, I think it was a combination of, there was a trigger warning for violence here. There was a shooting in another part of town and someone like dumped the car involved in that in our neighborhood. So that was a little not great. So that was the first weird thing that happened this week related to crime. And then I put up Clover's birthday decorations, which just meant that I got out the happy birthday banner that I made last year out of paper and washi tape. And then I pulled out the number 3 balloon that I had for my 30th birthday a few years ago. And we reinflated that because it was her 3rd birthday. So that was very cute, I think. Sometimes I feel very silly decorating for my cat, but then I also think about like how depressing the world is lately. And I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna decorate for my cat's birthday. I don't care. You can judge me if you want to, but this is how I am coping, okay? And then I watched a bunch of Tasting History and Game Grumps on YouTube that evening. Tuesday was the big day. It was Clover's 3rd birthday. So I used a combination of a birthday balloon sticker from the Prairie Planner, a cat foiled icon from Plannerface, and then I cut up a couple of scripts. Well, they weren't really scripts, but they were just like on overlay or underlay foiled sheets. So I had the Clover from the Clover Underlays for Magical Sticker Co. So that's fun that I have that in gold stars. And then I had this like orange glitter birthday script from, I think, Plan With Me stickers from some overlays that I bought from her a couple years ago. So I think this turned out really, really cute. If you don't know, Clover, it's kind of a miracle that she even made it to her 1st birthday because she got very, very sick with something called FIP when she was 6 months old. So yeah, her birthday means a lot to me because she could have not made it to the first one. And every year that we get with her is like a bonus year now because of a miracle cure, basically. That involved a lot of work. It wasn't just a miracle. It was like involving you know, some veterinarian taking the work of like researching this and like putting together this whole study, recruiting people for it. It took the work of me and my husband, like getting her into that trial and like transporting her there many, many times. And so it's not just like it happened because a lot of people put a lot of work into that. But anyway, so I can't believe she's already 3. She still acts like a big kitten though. Like she's just a 10-pound kitten now. She has a very baby face. Tuesday was also 1 month until my birthday, so I think 14 is like my lucky number now. My husband was still working from home, and then luckily this wasn't on the side of the freeway that I was driving on, but on my way to work, they had the other side of the freeway entirely shut down because of some wild stuff that had happened in the early hours the night before. Again, trigger warning for gun violence, but there was an officer involved shooting, and like an attempted carjacking was what led to that. So really weird week for local events, honestly. I went and taught my classes and then graded papers, and then I think I ended up taking a different way home because I think the freeway was still closed in the direction that I needed to go home. So I took a different freeway home. Luckily, that was an option. Came home, worked on the zine page that I needed to complete for my final project. So that cat on the laptop is from Beneva Creations. Those other stickers are from Wonton and a Million and Sweet Davis paper, but you can't get those anymore. Sorry about that. Took a bunch of pictures of Clover with her birthday decorations for her birthday. So that camera is from Quarks and Quarks Co. You can still get that one. And then Clover and Evie as well both got Churu as a birthday celebration, which is a cat treat if you're not familiar. And then I was watching a bunch of The Late Show with Stephen Colbert this night. Wednesday was tax day. We had already done our taxes though, but I thought I would mark it since I didn't have a lot of things to mark this day. I did yoga and voiced over a plan with me and finished a haul that I think I put up at like the end of April. And then I was reading my Croatia travel guide and watching more of The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. I'm just making some adjustments here. If you don't know, Plannerface paper or sticker paper is removable matte, but it's like a really nice removable matte. So that gives me a lot of options. And then also when you put things down on an underlay, generally it comes up a little bit easier. But I was just trying to fix the spacing at the bottom of Tuesday because obviously I want to show as much of the underlay as possible. So I was just like moving some things around to make that more possible. I prefer using underlays with leftovers at this point. I think I've talked about this many, many times before, but usually I have a couple of days where I don't have a full box because like I just don't have enough full boxes left over. But when I use underlays, I usually have like 2 extra underlays because there's 8 underlays on a sheet versus, you know, having a full box there. So anyway, even with that, I try to space things out as much as possible and use like skinnier labels and things in order to show off the underlays, because if you just cover it up, it's kind of disappointing, obviously. Thursday, I had cramps. It was really windy outside, kind of a spring. I can't remember if it was cooling down or warming up. It was probably warming up. Usually when it's windy here, it's like because there's going to be a really rapid change in temperature. So I used a paper shire sticker for that. I went and taught my classes and then had a bunch of grading of like a bunch of different types of assignments to do this day. And that pretty much took up the whole day. So the only other thing I'm going to mark on Thursday is watching Stephen Colbert and then Last Week Tonight with John Oliver. So all of these stickers, well, no, that's from Sweet Davis paper. That is from Paper Shire. That's from Wonton and a Million. And then the last 2 stickers at the end of Thursday are from Sweet Davis paper. Friday, my husband worked from home. I think he was like recovered from his cold at this point because he went into the office like Wednesday and Thursday. So that's going to be from Sweet Davis paper. I went and taught my Friday classes and graded. And then, like I said, we had our final professional development, like small group meeting this day. So I'm going to mark that with a laptop sticker from Beneva Creations because this one was mostly just like a group work setting to get our zine pages done and sent off to the printer. So I had worked on mine a little bit earlier in the day before the meeting, so like I kind of got to goof off for like the second half of the meeting. I'm not gonna lie. People had the idea to do a potluck because I was on campus a lot earlier than most people. I couldn't bring anything that was cooked because I literally had no place to put it to keep it food safe. So I just brought chips. But one dish that I tried for the first time that somebody brought was kushari, which is an Egyptian dish. I believe it's their national dish. And it was really good. I was not expecting, because normally I don't like beans and pasta in the same dish, but that's basically what it is. It's a bunch of different like beans and legumes and then like spaghetti. It's really good. If you've never tried it, I recommend it. So yeah, I don't think I've ever had Egyptian food, honestly. So that was nice of that person to bring it. I believe him and his wife are both Egyptian, so they make it quite often. Anyway, so I marked the zine potluck with this crafting sticker from Itty Bitty Sticker Co. because we also had like physical craft supplies to make like a physical zine if we wanted to. So that's why I said I was kind of goofing off the second half of the meeting because I had finished my digital page outlining like my whole project in Canva. And I'm like, before I proofread this, I need to like get off my screen for a second. So it was fun to like play with craft supplies. I brought some of my washi tape and things like that, but it was really only just like one other person and me like engaging with the craft supplies because most other people needed the time to work on their actual projects. But yeah, that was fun. We didn't end up going out for dinner this night because I was just really tired. And so at the end of the day, all I marked was watching Stephen Colbert and 10-Minute Power Hour on YouTube. Saturday, my husband left for LA, so that car is from the kit. Olivia Rodrigo dropped her music video for Drop Dead this day in kind of like I don't know if it dropped before or after her Coachella appearance. So I use these little macarons from 1 Ton in a Million to mark that. I feel like this song and this music video, like people have like a lot of negative opinions about it. I genuinely liked it. I'm like, can we let our girl be happy for a second? Like, I think people are very used to her having very like angsty, heartbroken lyrics. And I'm like, this is a fun song. This is a fun music video. I like it. I don't know. So yeah, I enjoyed it. I did a bunch of laundry and posted my February planner spreads to Instagram. I cannot get on a routine with planner Instagram for some reason. I don't know why, but anyway, that Instagram sticker is from Paper Shark. And then leading up to what I called Casey Cella, I think other people were calling it too. It's not just me. I wanted to listen to like the physical media that I have from her. So at the time, I had Same Trailer, Different Park, which is her first album. I have a CD of that, authentic, because it's actually from 2013, which is how long I've been listening to her. And then I have my Deeper Well vinyl. So I listened to both of those. And then I think it was 4 p.m. Pacific when the live stream for Casey Musgrave's set was available. I think I missed like the first 10 minutes and I didn't realize like you couldn't like go back. I learned later the next day. I think I rewatched the whole set the next day because you could go back as long as it was within like 12 hours of the stream. So I went back and caught the part of her like riding in on a horse and all of that the next day. But yeah, loved the set. I used a little RV sticker from Itty Bitty Sticker Co. to mark it because she had like a trailer on stage, and it's definitely like a return to like country western roots with this album. The last few albums have been more folk or even like pop. But I don't know, I'm going to see her in the fall in concert, and I'm hoping that like stuff from her first 2 albums, which are very, very country, comes up with this kind of return to the country western vibes. So loved the set. She premiered a bunch of songs from the new album that came out May 1st, but this was obviously April 18th, so hadn't heard them yet. So that was really exciting to see. I was instantly a fan of Uncertain Texas. I'm like, I love this. This is perfect. So I was like chomping at the bit. I'm like, now I have to wait. What do you mean I have to wait 2 more weeks for the album to come out? So yeah, really was looking forward to that album. Luckily, I was not disappointed. And yeah, like I said, I'm not really a Coachella person, but now that I know about the streams, I know that if there's anybody who I do actually want to see, which I'll be real, Casey Musgraves was the only artist I cared about who was at Coachella this year. But now I know that the streams are pretty handy to have on YouTube. They're pretty good. I did my nails, I watched a bunch of comedy, and then moving on to Sunday, I marked 2 months till a short trip that we're taking. I marked cleaning out the cat litter, and I marked the Junk Bug Club meetup. It's a junk journal club, but you can work on like any crafts, so follow them on Instagram if you're in the Sacramento area. I went to Safeway for groceries. I went and got myself a Happy Meal, and then listened to a bunch of the Sticky Bun Boys podcast and filmed a plan with me, played with the cats, and then started rewatching. I think I was starting to rewatch all of Great British Bake Off this day, but let me double check. I don't actually know. All of the old seasons of Great British Bake Off are on, what's it called? Roku. So I think I was starting with season 1, but not 100% sure. I watched season 1 or collection 1 or whatever they call it. Series 1 is what they call it. No, I think I was in the middle of series 1 at this point. So anyway, not that it matters. I've watched it a million times already. But yeah, I love how this turned out. The kid is so cute already, but then the little clover underlays with a tribute to Clover, and then them being this gold stars pattern that makes it extra sparkly and extra shiny. I just think this is perfect for representing another year with our darling little Clover. I hope she had a good birthday. She's currently cleaning herself sitting next to me, so she's my little friend. She means a lot to me. But I hope you all are doing well, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Goodbye!